Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? I'm so excited to be with you guys today. It's Thursday. It's Cowboys week. Also got some 49ers or some Texas OU stuff. We're not going to talk about that, but I'm super excited. Wife's birthday. But what is most important right now, the man next to me, virtually, not physically, Mose Knows is in the building. How you doing, Mose?
Man, it's a long time coming, but we're not going to worry about how long it took. The moment is here. I am on the 49ers Rush podcast with my brother, John Chapman. Man, it is so good to be here. I'm glad I had the time in my schedule to hop on with you and chop some 49ers football, man.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, if you've been to our road trips, you've seen this big, smiling, happy guy out there. He's got the loudest voice in the world. It's so funny because when we do the mics or we don't have mics or there's audio issues, I just find Mose and I'm like, Mose, yell this out. And everybody hears. It is wonderful. So super excited to have him with me. And if you want to support his show, the very first thing in the description of this video, audio podcast, wherever you're getting access to this, click on that. Go follow Mose Knows on YouTube. Please support this man because he is awesome. And you're going to find that out today. So today we got a lot of stuff to talk about, and I'm pretty pumped about this. Shout out to all the Countdown crew coming in. We are going to be covering 49ers Brock talk. We're going to talk some Brock Purdy. I got a lot of Brock Purdy questions this week, so I'm trying to bring them all together and corral them so that we can address the different topics. We got some Cowboys hate, and we want to look back and kind of diagnose some of the issues with the 49ers defense, talk about the 99-yard touchdown, different things like that. But we've got a lot of stuff to get to, so let's dive right in. Mose, we had two transactions yesterday on the 49ers practice squad. They bring back one of the beloved preseason training camp studs, Ilm Manning, and running back Jeremy McNichols. What are your thoughts on somehow getting Ilm Manning back? The Cardinals cut him. How does this help the Niners?
I think this just adds a piece that we are comfortable with on that offensive line. You know, thankfully to this point, let's knock on this wooden desk that I got here. We haven't had any significant injuries to our offensive linemen. But I think if we were ever able to sustain those, I don't think that we're comfortable with our backup situation. Bringing back Ilm Manning, continuing to, have him in the building, continuing to learn our scheme from the talented offensive lineman that we have from offensive line coach Chris Forrester. I think that only continues to develop him with what we want him to do. We already saw that he has the physical gifts to be able to compete on this offensive line the way we want him to. So now just getting him up to speed with the offense, having him more comfortable, I think that it's better to have him in-house. So I think it's great that we were able to pick him back up.
Interesting enough, like we had to put him at tackle because Trent Williams was getting vet treatment in training camp. Jalen Moore got a little banged up, and it was just like, okay, dude, you were a guard. We're putting you at tackle. Shortest arms in the NFL that played tackle. Was awesome. But they said that they're going to be practicing him at guard almost exclusively. So this provides depth at the guard position. Nick Zakelj, I don't know whatever he's ever going to be active. He's on the active roster, but he's a healthy scratch every week. So you've got Nick Zakelj, and then right behind that, now you've got Ilm Manning, who I have so much confidence in. Very excited about that. But again, it's at the guard position. Jeremy McNichols, I think, do you think that this is a little telling with Elijah Mitchell injury that it might be a little bit, or is this just this guy knows our system, let's get him back in?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it could be telling that this could be a little bit extended. I think it may be foreshadowing a little bit. We know that when Elijah Mitchell gets injured, it's usually not a 1 or 2 week thing. It's usually extended. And then to throw another caveat in there, we may be looking to throw him in a trade. And we may not be looking to get a running back in return. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey is doing his thing and putting up MVP-like numbers. We're happy with Jordan Mason and what he's able to do. We got TDP behind them. And then, Jeremy McNichols, brings up the rear as our fourth running back. So whether it's injury related, where it's long term, or it's short term, but we may be looking to include him in some type of trade package. The 49ers, once it gets close to that trade deadline, they're always looking to wheel and deal. So it could be that as well.
Yeah. I mean, we've had so many running back trades, traded away Breida, trading up. I don't even want to say this. Joe Williams, right? Trading for CMC, trading away Jeff Wilson Jr. Running back trades are just a Shanahan thing, and that's in the lineage. You can go back to Pops, right? Traded away Clinton Portis for Champ Bailey, which I think is one of the best all-time trades in NFL history. Champ was just absolute clutch. But anyway, I want to digress. Mose is a Jersey guy. And Nicholas Parra, that's a Jersey guy, which I'm so excited about that. Appreciate the super chat. The Godfather himself, Nick. He says, what's up, fellas? Happy birthday to the wife, Miss JLC. That is correct. Miss Chapman's birthday is tomorrow. I will not say how old she is. But I can tell. I told her this morning. The last time we went out for drinks, she still gets carded. They don't card me. They card her. We're the same damn.
Wow.
Yeah, she got some good genetics. I ain't gonna lie. Now, Nick says, great to see my bro Mose as well. Let's beat them Cowboys. Huge weekend coming up with the Breezy video, the tailgate, of course, the game. Let's go Niners. And man, Nick, thank you so much. Your generosity, your friendship. Can't wait to see the fam this week and to hang out. Let's talk Wayne, MF, and Breezy. I love this dude. We've got the music video this weekend. Mose, tell us what you know about this thing and how can people help?
Listen, as you see, October 7th, that is going to be Saturday morning from 9 to 12. We will be in front of the Debo Samuel mural. That's outside of 2206 Business Circle. So listen, as you see at the bottom, there are 49 spots. If you have not RSVP, please visit twben.com/RSVP. If you RSVP and you're one of the first 49, you will receive a free Faithful to the Bay hand towel. These towels are well made, well put together. You're not going to be disappointed. And then we just going to have a great time with Wayne Breezy, with Travis King. Lake City Fresh will unfortunately be able to be here. Sending prayers out to him and his family.
Man, I didn't know that. I hope everything's all right with him.
Yeah. But just sending prayers out to him and his family. But we're gonna be with the fam. We're gonna be with the faithful, and we get to create an amazing music video that is going to be iconic, and that's going to be an added stamp onto what is already a great song. So if you're in the area, if you don't have anything else to do, which you shouldn't, Saturday morning, come on out, be there early. And we're going to have fun creating this music video for such a great song.
Yes. Family friendly. I'm bringing waters, ice. I'm going to have that. I'm going to get some Capri Suns. We're going to load up. We're going to have you guys covered. I'm excited about that. And again, for the audio listeners, just go to twben.com, RSVP. That's the Wayne Breezy Entertainment Network. Look at that dude. That dude he's on clutch with what he's got. So twben.com/RSVP. Go over there, support your man. We got to get that going. And then we got our tailgate Sunday, which I'm super pumped about. I asked Wayne, I said, Wayne, what do you want to eat? He said barbecue chicken. So that's what we're doing at the tailgate. We're going to be over in the blue lot #1. Yes. Barbecue chicken. We'll have some dogs and stuff for the kiddos and whatever else. If that's what it is. It's going to be the biggest tailgate we got planned so far this year at home.
Now wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
We have
Am I about to get in trouble?
What barbecue sauce are we using?
Well, that is a good question because I'm a Texas guy and I struggle finding barbecue sauce out here. I struggle with that.
Okay.
But I'm doing a Costco and Target run Saturday morning, and that's what. So you tell me what to get that's out here. You tell me, I'll get it. Because none of this lives. I went to grad school in Kansas City, Mose. So grew up in Texas. Kansas City barbecue's my jam, but I'm California, outside of Copper Top Barbecue. I'm just saying, Bloodsoe's down in LA for my LA people. But come on, man, help me out.
Now, there's one of my favorites right now. Okay. Now, they usually are national, so you may be able to find it at Target. But it's called Sticky Fingers. You got to
Okay.
get the Sticky Fingers Carolina Sweet.
Oh, see you,
It's
Carolina. I like Carolina Sweet. Not usually my go-to. If I find it, I'm buying it, man. We'll get. Oh, look at this.
You got to get.
We got the man himself right here. What's up, Lake City Fresh? Yes, that's what's up. He says the guys, Mose and John, much love for the condolences. Go support my guys Sunday. I'll be laying my grandfather to rest. He was 97, lived a good life. Must have been an amazing man. Lake City Fresh. I just want to say thank you to all the impact you've had on the community.
Yes.
And one, you're beyond talented, so that is incredible. Condolences to you and your family, and I'm sure your grandfather was an amazing man. He's got an awesome grandson, so I apologize for that, but we are with you in all things, man. So glad to see you in here, and let us know if there's anything we could do for you as a community, because you are one of us if there was ever one of us, if that makes sense. So yeah, we got that. Prayers up. Loving seeing that from lots of people on Mo's channel. That is awesome. That's awesome. And so, yeah. Oh, we got Franklin's Barbecue in Austin. Chris, you're going to get me in trouble, man. I ain't even going to throw that. These people don't know. They're not from Texas. That's okay. We love them anyway.
Listen,
anyway.
Franklin's Barbecue. I heard next time I go out there, like, I have to make it a day, because I saw, like, people start lining up, like they bring chairs.
Yes,
they start lining up at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. And he
serve
doesn't
till it's
open
gone
until like noon, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe even later than that.
Sometimes you can get them earlier on a Saturday or Sunday if it's not football season. But yeah, you serve till it's gone. And that's just the way it goes. It's incredible. So
that's why you gotta get in that line and wait hours.
Man.
So I got that. That's on my bucket list. That's on my to-do bucket list.
I could give you an entire barbecue tour across this country, at least the middle part of it. At least the middle part of it. Now, we talked about Il Manning and Jeremy McNichols. They have been added, which means you have to release 2 players. And one of the fan favorites, Jack Coletto, didn't make the initial 53. They waived him. Somehow we got him back. They cut him. And Marlon Davidson, who, again, had one of the best, preseasons of any position player. Both those guys are gone. What are your quick thoughts on those 2, Mose?
Coletto, I'm not worried about. I think Marlon Davidson speaks higher volumes to me because Javon Kinlaw is playing well. Javon Kinlaw has been healthy. He's been able to, in this new rotation that we have, he's been able to find a home, and not just find a home and stay on the field, but he's been able to be productive and disruptive. Yes. So while it is, it's sad to see Marlon Davidson go, because that's quality depth. I think we still have quality depth with, Kevin Givens and some of those other guys. And if that means that Javon Kinlaw is healthy and is on a trajectory to play a majority, if not all, the games this season, that's all we could ask for. So excited to see that. Yeah,
it's a trip whenever you look at, again, whenever these roster moves take place, I'm always like, okay, you add an offensive guard and a running back, you release a fullback and a D tackle. Kyle Juszczyk's Kyle Juszczyk. DTs have all been healthy and played very, very well. So you just kind of rotate through that. I think that makes sense. And, Jack Coletto, I hope we get him back. We'll have to see. Not a lot of teams use a fullback, but that is a guy that I really want long-term. Now, let's transition, Mose. Here we go. I sent you a couple topics. I want to spend some time on that. The title of the show is Brock Talk and Cowboys Hate. Let's get to the first one. The amount of DMs and emails that I received. Why isn't Brock Purdy getting MVP type love? That's what they want to know about. So shout out to Flynn West. I kind of used his question to paraphrase this. He said, Purdy's on a historic sophomore run right now, playing at an elite level. And it's made me curious about Mahomes' first year or sophomore year in the NFL. He won the MVP. And so why is it Purdy getting the same love that Mahomes got, right? Everybody's like, well, it's a Shanahan system. You got Debo, Ayuk, CMC. Mahomes had Andy Reid, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. It's not like he didn't have studs with him as well. Mose, help me understand. I know that Mahomes and Purdy are different. I'm not trying to say they're the same. However, we got a young quarterback putting up some elite numbers. Help me understand.
I think, to start this conversation, I think we all know that the MVP award is all about flash, right? It's not putting up good numbers, it's who puts up gaudy numbers. And like they have to be like insanely good numbers. And I'm trying to look at we're talking about Mahomes' second season. He won MVP because he put up 5,000 passing yards and 50 touchdowns.
Yeah,
So,
that's not
so
happening.
for perspective, even if we didn't talk about Mahomes, right now with what Brock Purdy is averaging as far as yards per game, he's on pace for 4,332. For comparison, right now, what Tua is averaging in Miami, Tua's on pace for 5,500. So that's 500 more than 5,550. So that's almost 500 more than what Mahomes put up. Mahomes is his most yards, where it was last year, we put up 5,250. So that kind of shows you early on where Tua is projected. Now, will he get to 5,500? That's going to be tough once defenses really start to figure him out, figure that offensive out, find out different ways to slow him. Maybe they go on a slump offensively. Maybe their schedule has a lot of games in a row that are tough contests. Who knows? But that's what the projection is right now. Right now, and through 4 games, Purdy only has 5 passing touchdowns. That puts him on pace for 21. So if at the end of the season, Purdy only has 4,300 passing yards, which is pretty decent, and then
Yeah,
only
we haven't
21
had a
touchdowns.
4,000-yard passer since Jeff Garcia.
Right. So for us, that would be absolutely amazing. But in comparison to the league, him only having 4,300 yards and 21 touchdowns, there's going to be a quarterback that has more yards, and there's going to be a quarterback that has more touchdowns. And if there's one quarterback that has more of both, more than likely they're going to be propelled as the MVP favorite over Brock Purdy.
Yeah, and shout out to Jax. What's up, girl? So excited to hang out this weekend, man. She's coming down. She says, "Hey, John and Mose, have a great show." We do because of people
Nice.
like you. And whenever we see your comments and your generosity, Jax, I just want to say thank you. Puts a smile on my face, and very thankful. The question, the poll that I put on the YouTube channel, the live, I said, which is most important for Brock to win MVP? 49ers record, passing touchdowns, passing yards, or low interceptions. So I want to rephrase that back to you, Mose. I'll go through what the people watching have said. So 4 options. What's most important for Brock Purdy to win MVP? 49ers record, passing touchdown, passing yards, lowest interceptions.
To be perfectly honest with you, I'm going to go with a 5th option.
Oh,
based on my research from the question that you sent me. And I'm going to say all of the above because,
yeah.
because based on what this offense is, right? And what he's asked to do in this offense, he's going to have to be top 3, if not number 1 in all of these categories, right? So
Yes.
right now, he currently leads the league in QBR and quarterback rating. He's 8th in yards and only has 0 interceptions. So if he can get to 45, maybe 4,700 yards, if he can get the touchdowns to about 30 or more, stay under 10
That's got to be
interceptions.
the issue. That's got to be the issue, right?
Right.
The
So having
touchdowns
the
are the biggest
yards,
concern for me.
having the yards, at least got to get the touchdowns into the 30s. Even if you get it
On pace for
30.
21 touchdowns right now. That's his
On pace for
prorated.
21 right now. Exactly. So you got to at least get it to 30. So the yards, 4,500 or more, cool. If we can get the touchdowns to 30, keep the interceptions below 10, stay number 1 in QBR and quarterback rating. And if the 49ers, I would say, have the best record in the NFL, but if they just have the best record in the NFC and take the number 1 seed, I think then there is real consideration for him to be the MVP because his team is so good. Now, will the voters dock him? Like you said, Mahomes had Kelsey, he had Tyreek, he had Andy Reid, but he also put up over 5,000 yards and 50 touchdowns. So that
Yeah,
kind of
that was
canceled
different.
out.
With the
canceled
flashy
out
plays
his
too,
health.
and the whole throwing off
Right.
1 foot 60 yards and all that stuff. Like there's reasons why Brock went where he did, and Mahomes went. Their skill set is different. One of them is flashy, highlight driven. One of them is just consistent and methodical. It's Tony Gwynn, and Tony Gwynn is like my favorite of all time. Like absolutely, I'm a Braves guy, but Tony Gwynn was everything because he just never messed up. He was the most consistent at everything. And you looked at Tony Gwynn and you're like, that looks like John Chapman playing baseball. Let's just be honest. We're on the same diet plan. Let's just be real. And so, like, you see Tony Gwynn and he's like, man, that's dude's not, 6'4" with chiseled abs and whatever else. No.
Right.
And that's not who Brock Purdy is either. However, Tony Gwynn's a Hall of Famer. Now, Mose, let me update just the votes that everybody else is saying. So again, 47% said 49ers record. You got to be, and this goes to the old adage, the best player on the best team. I get that. So that's got the most votes. Passing touchdown second, 29%. Low interceptions, 18. Passing yards, 6%. I'll update that at the end of the show. Don't let me forget that. So here's what I would say. Okay, so I went through the last 5 MVPs. Okay, so you had Mahomes, Rodgers, Lamar, Mahomes again. Those are the last 5 MVPs. Totaled all their numbers, prorated Brock's numbers, and I just tweeted this out, and I'm already getting people upset at me about it, but that's okay. I don't mind. We call it Brockaganda. Brockaganda, that's what it is. So here's what I'm going to say. If Brock stays on this pace, he's on pace to throw for more passing yards than Aaron Rodgers in both of his MVP years of 2020 and 2021. So passing yards, I feel like that one's checked. I'm not too concerned about that. I think he's fine. The craziest thing that I found is Brock is currently on pace for more rushing touchdowns than Lamar Jackson's MVP season. Lamar Jackson had 7. Brock's on pace for 8.5. So the yards, not even close. Lamar rushed for 1,200 plus yards. So that went bye-bye to Brock long ago. Now, you talked about the quarterback passing touchdowns, which, Mahomes throwing 50, not even comparable. He's on pace. What did I say? 21 touchdown passes?
21.
So I went back and I looked, where are the fewest touchdown passes to an MVP quarterback? I had to go the last 20 years, Peyton Manning in 2008 through 27 and won MVP. That's kind of
how many yards did he have?
He didn't have a lot of yards. Like, it's weird. They were like 13-3. They weren't great. And it was just like, I don't understand. It was just a down
MVP
year statistically.
at 13-3?
Yeah. And so, again, you look at these records.
Was every other quarterback in the NFL horrible that year?
I think it was injuries and whatever else. But yeah, listen to these. This is what's key that I think a lot of people miss. Last year, Mahomes 14-3. Year before, Rodgers 13-3. Year before that, back-to-back MVPs 13-3. Lamar 13-2. He missed a game. Mahomes 12-4. So you got to get all the wins, which I think he's got that checked. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Completion percentage, if he just stayed where he is, which I don't think is possible, he's at 72.3%. It'd be the 3rd highest completion percentage in the NFL's history. Only Drew Brees would have 2 seasons better, but Drew Brees never won MVP. So if Brock had these numbers and won MVP, it would be the highest completion percentage ever for a quarterback to win MVP. I'm just saying, I don't think he's going to win it. I'm just telling everybody that now, and CMC probably has a lot to do with this as well. I think he's the best player on the best team currently. But I do think he should be in the conversation. Currently, my bookie has him at 7th best odds. Do you think that's about where he should be? Should he be getting more love, less love? And this goes to the chat too. Should Brock, Brock is currently 7th for MVP. Should he be higher? If so, what number should Brock be? I want a number. Put in the chat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, shouldn't be, whatever. I want to hear what people have to say this, but as they come in with their answers, I want to hear you, Mose. Is 7th respectable? Like, are you cool with that? Or is he being slighted a little bit?
Okay, so let's talk what we know right now after 4 weeks of the season. Who would potentially be the 6 players ahead of him? CMC is one.
You put so CMC is 1 spot behind him, but you would put CMC ahead of him. They're close.
I would put
They're
CMC
7-8.
ahead of him.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. I put CMC ahead of him. I would put
That's one.
Tua ahead of him. I would put Tyreek Hill ahead of him.
Ooh.
I put Josh Allen.
Tyreek is not ahead of him, by the way. He is not.
Okay.
I can tell you the order if you want me to.
Now, wait a minute. Do you have a sponsorship with my bookie?
I sure do.
Okay. So
I sure do.
I can't say anything bad about my bookie. My bookie is great. Use promo. What's your promo code?
Promo code 49ers. Get that deposit bonus.
Okay,
And that's my
use
thing.
promo code.
The odds are
49ers
different
for
everywhere, and
John
you got to
Chapman
take
for my
advantage of
bookie.
those.
Because
Where's
for
Tyreek
Christian
at?
McCaffrey
Tyreek is
and for
behind.
Tyreek Hill to be behind him. Yeah, give me
a
who are the
quarterback
6
award.
people ahead of him?
Okay, I'll go in order from the number one favorite, according to my bookie. Okay, Josh Allen has the best odds currently.
Mm-hmm.
Tua's second. They're super close. Mahomes is third. Jalen Hurts 4. Lamar Jackson, big drop from Hurts to Jackson is 5. Herbert is 6. Another big drop from Lamar Jackson to Herbert. Brock is 7. McCaffrey is 8. And Brock and CMC are like so close. Like, I mean, they're very, very close to each other as far as odds go. Behind that, Trevor Lawrence, Dak, Goff, Watson, Stafford, Parsons, Burrow, Cousins, Geno, Tyreek, Justin Jefferson.
Where's Jettis?
So, who?
Where's Jettis?
Jettis?
Justin Jefferson.
Oh, yeah, he's right behind Tyreek Hill. They have the same. Tyreek is plus 7,500. Jefferson is plus 8,500 because they keep losing. They're 0-3. They're 1-3 or whatever. Like,
yeah,
it's going to a quarterback.
I mean,
CMC could rush for 2,000 yards and not win.
Based on that list, then, because it looks like my bookie is basically they're projecting the odds at the end of the season, so they're not looking at just based on the first 4 weeks.
Correct.
Based on that list, if Purdy is 7, I think that's really, really good because the quarterbacks ahead of him just have the skill set and the offenses that are more inclined to put up better numbers. And then when you have Mahomes, Allen, Hurts, and Lamar Jackson, you talk about the added stats of their rushing ability, right? So yeah, I based on that list from my bookie, I think 7 is a proper spot for him. They give you all the flashy quarterbacks, and then there's no other quarterback in front of Brock Purdy because of the quote unquote non-flashy guys. He is the most efficient.
Yeah, I like that. Now, I asked everybody where he belongs, 1 through whatever. We got 2, 5, 2, 4. Brock should be top 5. So yeah, just kind of putting some of this stuff in mentions. And yeah, we got our old people. Team is just too stacked. And that's saying something with the guy with the LeBron James AVI because he knows about stacking teams to win. If anybody does, right? Oh man, I can't wait to read my emails. Anyway, yeah, I'm not a LeBron. LeBron's a good dude. I just can't root for him. Anyway, whatever. I don't want to go down that whole rabbit hole. So here's what I put out there. Shout out to my man Dale DeMott. He's helped the 49ers Rush channel grow to what it is. Does a lot of behind the scenes work. He said, put out a stat line that Brock Purdy would need to do to win MVP, and then let's track it throughout the year. Okay, so here's what I came up with, my brain bucket head. You guys can disagree with me, okay? For Brock Purdy to be considered MVP, I'm going to say 14-3 is the lowest the Niners can go. You go 15-2, 16-1, now we're bumping those numbers up. 28 touchdown passes, that's the red flag area. 6 or fewer interceptions. That's hard. That only one starting quarterback did that last year. That was Jalen Hurts. So that's difficult. You've got to offset your low touchdowns with some other very high numbers, 70% or better completion percentage, 4,500 yards passing, 5 rushing touchdowns. You hit those metrics and somebody else doesn't have a 5,050 touchdown season, I think he could be considered. So those are my crazy projected numbers for him to be considered. And then somebody else doesn't have to be amazing. So yeah, I think that's where we got. Sorry, man. My bad. Skidoodle. You're the man. I'm sorry. LeBron's awesome. He's great, man. Space Jam 2 was terrible.
I think we're on the same track with that, because I had in my notes 4,600 plus 30 plus TDs, keep the interceptions under 10, maintain the lead, the number one spot in QBR and quarterback rating, and Niners have the best record.
There we go. I like that.
I think if that is the stat line across the board, even if he doesn't win it, he should come either 2 or 3 in the voting. If that's his stat line, he should be top 3, unless we just have a crazy season where we got 3 guys who threw for 5,000 plus, 2 guys 50 plus touchdowns, or if Mahomes, Allen, and Tua all throw for 50, then it is what it is at that point, like you said. But if he can get that stat line, he should at least finish in the top 3 in voting.
Right. Big Papa, appreciate you, man. He said, if Niners win 6, does that equal Brock being number 1? I'd take that. I mean, I would say Brock would prefer the championship over the MVP as well. He's such a selfless guy. And yeah, sadly, usually give the word out beforehand. But, I just think it's interesting. Not so much that I care that much about MVP. I didn't bet on it. I'm not planning on betting on this award. I am betting very big on Christian McCaffrey being the offensive player of the year. That I'm betting huge on. And you can go bet. You make that bet right now on my bookie. I just posted on the 49ersrush.com and on our Patreon page all of the season-long bets round 2. So I went through who's making the playoffs, who isn't, who's going to have the first pick, offensive player of the year, all those different things. So a whole new round of bets. Head over there, the 49ersrush.com or our Patreon channel. Just Google 49ers Patreon. We're the first one that pulls up. Let's get to our next question/topic. Can we talk about the 99-yard touchdown allowed by the 49ers defense, Mose? I just finished the film breakdown this morning. I want to know your thoughts. I'll jump in after you go, but that's something that's pretty uncanny. And to happen against us at that time, right out of the half, was interesting. What are your thoughts? Arizona Cardinals come out of the half, 99-yard drive for a touchdown. Why did it happen?
Yeah, for me, it's a plethora of things. A lot of it uncharacteristic for who we are and what we do. If you look at it in totality, it's a bunch of small plays. So if you want to say that they had a dink and dunk drive, you can say that, but it was a bunch of dink and dunk that included some big time plays and some mental mistakes. So if we look at the first play from the 1 yard line, that's a simple QB sneak just to get them some yards.
We didn't have a player in either A gap. That's what drove me crazy. We didn't have one defensive tackle on either side of the center. But yeah, I'm with you.
And so that was just an easy push forward. And he kind of fell down anticipating contact from the defensive line, but he could have maybe got an extra yard or 2. Now he would have ran into Fred Warner. But nonetheless, defensive alignment was able to get them, 2 yards, get them some breathing room. Next play, and I can understand not wanting to give up the big play. But to be playing so far off, when this team is still in the shadow of their own end zone, you give up a 7-yard out route because you're playing 8 yards off.
Yeah, so we were in our cover 6 on that one. Yeah, he didn't have help over the top, playing a shell coverage. And that's the vulnerability of this defense. It has been, whether that was Saleh, whether that's D'Amico, whether that's Wilkes. You play shell coverage in the NFL, the quick hitch, quick outs, they're going to be there.
They're going to find a way to be there, and they're going to beat you. So then I have 3rd and 1. And then here comes this team, Jonathan Gannon, coming from Philadelphia, whether you want to call it the tush push, the brotherly shove.
Yeah.
We get another QB sneak. They get a first down. So we weren't able to stop that. After that, we get James Conner. Again, big play, 11-yard run.
That one was Cleveland Farrell. I went nuts. That dude, he took the cheese. Took the dive,
right,
and it wasn't his spot.
Right as I was about to get to say it, you said it. That was so because he set the softest edge, and then he allowed his body to get turned to the outside. So not only did you set a soft edge and go too wide, but then you turn to get yourself out of the play. And then also Greenlaw got caught inside on that, not filling in. Maybe that wasn't the assignment. And like we talked about, Farrell, set that edge too soft and too wide. But Greenlaw gets caught inside, and that leaves a gaping hole for Connor to get through and pick up that 11 yards. So those were the two things that I saw there that kind of really, really frustrated me. Then the next first down, we get the play action bootleg. Farrell falls for the fake again.
Yep.
But thankfully, because of the great coverage by the linebackers and the secondary, he was able to recover. I think Dobbs only got, a yard or two on that
Greenlaw,
because he didn't have anybody to throw to.
Yeah, Greenlaw chases.
Great coverage by Greenlaw on that one. Second down, short run for Connor. Third down, we got another QB sneak. Now, they would have got the first down, but they get an additional 5 yards because Eric Armstead is offsides. So now we've given them some momentum. They've gotten some positive plays. They got a few first downs, and then now we add to that with a penalty. And then after the penalty comes the big play, the 41-yarder to Marquise Brown, play action with a clear out route from Michael Wilson. And then we have a shallow cross being ran by Rondell Moore with a deep cross behind that from Marquise Brown. PA gets Fred to bite.
Yep.
Fred pops up on the play action, just trying to be prepared for the run. And that split second, when you got a guy who runs 4.2, 4.3, was all he needed to get behind him and find that open grass. Everyone was in zone coverage except for Mooney on that one. Mooney runs stride for stride with Wilson on the go route. And then we played single high, but Gip wasn't in the middle. He was on the far hash, closer to the two receiver side. And so as he sees the two crossers coming, he flips his hips and he's in that direction. But he doesn't commit to one or the other. He doesn't fully commit to the go route because he knows Mooney is there. But he also doesn't fully commit to the deep crosser coming across his face, because if he does, there is a chance that Josh Dobbs throws that go route and just takes his chance with the one-on-one. So he made a business decision to be in position to where if I need to go chase down this go ball, if he throws it, I can. And if he does throw this crosser, of course, I'm not going to be able to break it up, but I'm going to be there to make the tackle, which he does. So I don't think that's any fault.
That's kind of his entire game. He's always the soft over the top guy. You've got the hair on fire Talanoa, just runs in there like a bazooka. And then you've got Gip. That's the cautious, true safety. I'm not letting anything behind me. And so,
Yep. And that's what he did. And he was the one that was able to get there, get Marquise Brown out of bounds to where it wasn't bigger than what it was.
And I felt like Fred on that one. Not only did he bite, which put him out of position, he didn't get his head around fast enough to see the deep crosser. He jumped the shallow crosser and just left Fred Warner's the best coverage linebacker in the NFL, maybe NFL history. That was a rough one. And this started, I counted 3 consecutive negative plays from Fred Warner here, that's interesting.
Yes.
That never happens.
Yes, because the very next play, he missed the tackle and gave up a 3-yard run. And that's in my notes.
Would have been a 2-yard loss.
So it would have been. It would have been. So now this team has momentum. And then we get to second down, give up the 5 yards to the tight end. Third down, which was a design run. They motion one of the wide receivers over. That kind of froze the linebackers a little bit. I think it was Orrin Burks who points out that the motion is going that way. So everybody's looking that way, focusing their attention that way. Dobbs drops back, holds it for a split second, and then he takes off. So the motion, along with, kind of the head fake, kind of opened it up, gave him 6 yards. Again, mental error, mental mistakes. You got to be kind of prepared for it. Then on first down, We have the touchdown to Wilson. And then here again, another error, I think, on Burks. We're in man coverage. Arizona, to confirm its man coverage, motions Connor all the way out wide. The defense shifts with him. So Demo is now on Connor, and that puts Dre Greenlaw on Michael Wilson.
1-on-1.
Warner takes the tight end. Again, tight end runs another clear route just to clear that whole situation out. Fred runs with them. Wilson runs the slant underneath. Because of that, confusion and commotion, Dre isn't able to get there. You got somebody who was recently injured, either the player or two before Dre Greenlaw goes down. Now you got him back in covering a wide receiver with decent speed. But then also on the play, you see Oren Burks. He comes down. He shifts more to the outside towards where Marquise Brown is. But then when the play is snapped, he opens his hips outside towards where Marquise Brown is. But if you look at that play, Talanoa Hufanga has Marquise Brown. And if Josh Dobbs is going to throw that out route to that front pylon, he's got to put a lot on it. And by the time the ball gets there, it's either broken up by Huff or intercepted. So Burks didn't need to turn that way and focus on anything out in that area.
Could have helped
and
out
I just
Greenlaw,
think from a mental standpoint, right. I think from a mental standpoint, you stay in the middle just in case anything comes across. Because if he stays there and he's just sitting in his zone, he's able to jump that pass. But let's just say, for whatever reason, Dre's able to get his hands on Michael Wilson, or Michael Wilson slips, or he runs the wrong route. If you look at the play from the on-22, you being on it outside, if the pass wasn't there, Josh Dobbs is going to walk into the end zone. Obviously, the pass was there, so that's the easiest way. Get it to my guy who's open. But if he wasn't open, Dobbs could have walked into the end zone. So, and then at the end of the play, you see Oren Burks go, because he knew it. He knew he took himself out of position on that play. And then so there's the 99 yards, there's the touchdown. So it's really funny with this team. And I'm sorry to be long-winded here.
No, I love it.
It's really funny with this team. We have areas and pockets where we do everything right. And we have like momentary lapses throughout the game where just stuff is not clicking. We're not making the right decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a bad decision happens, we kind of snap back into place. And I think we've seen that because our defense has been able to get stops when needed. The only team that scored more than 20 points on us was the Rams. That's a divisional game, an opponent that knows us, but that game was not as close as the score would indicate. So I think there's minor things that we need to correct, that we need to make sure that we are completely focused on throughout the full 60 minutes. And then we'll start to see those really, really dominant defensive performances.
Yeah, and who would have guessed you'd have 5 bad plays, 3 by Warner, 1 by Greenlaw, 1 by Oren Burks. Our linebackers are the strength of the defense. I know D-line's up there, but we have the best linebackers in the NFL, and they dominoed, and it was weird. Now they come out, and the very next drive, they drive past midfield, and probably my favorite Steve Wilks moment so far this year. It's early. It's 3rd and 5 or whatever. It's a 3rd and medium at midfield. They've just scored on back-to-back possessions, one before the half, one to start the second half. They're driving again. We do our 3rd down show blitz where it looks like everybody's coming. And Josh Dobbs audibles, right? He does his audible, and Fred says, bump that. We audible out in our defense. We go to our nickel shell coverage, cover 4 base. Whenever we were in show, Josh Dobbs can't check out of the check because the clock's running down. He snaps it. We get a sack. And so that was something new from Wilks that I haven't seen in D'Amico. I haven't seen with Saleh. And so the DC won on the board, the X's and O with the chalk, which was awesome. Put his players in chance. So I'm getting a lot of Steve Wilks hate. I don't buy into that. I'm pumped about Steve Wilks, and he shut that game down, which I'm excited about. And yeah, Dave, I want to say thank you. He said Wilks is a secondary guy. I bet all this improves with continuity and time. Yeah, 100%. And again, not only did you have the largest spread of the week last week, you covered it. So the Niners answered. Now, let's transition. This has been an awesome show, Mose. I really appreciate you, man. Let's talk some Cowboys. I want to know your thoughts. Everybody, most of the people on my show, they know my Cowboys hate, my origin story. Where do the Cowboys fit on your least liked teams for the 49ers? I'm curious. Are they your least favorite, or is it Seattle? You're an East Coast guy, so I'm just saying. Moses going through his hate index right now.
Eagles.
Eagles
number 1.
You live in Jersey. That makes sense.
Cowboys, Seahawks, 2A and 2B.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. I like that. Now, my question to you is this. What are your generic thoughts kind of on this game? Look at this. 49ers throwback. Appreciate the super chat. He says, T.O. is on our side, which is a first. He picked the 49ers to get the dub. T.O. is a whole can of worms I don't even want to get into. He's incredible, though. He's awesome. What are your thoughts on this game? What's your feel overall?
Obviously, I think this will be our first big test. We played some good teams. We played 2 division teams that, tried to give us a run for our money. But this is our first big test of a team that everyone, fully anticipates, being in the dance at the end of the season, right? So the talk leading up to this game, there's a lot of added pressure for the other team. They have to show that they are able to beat us, because that'll give them confidence if they have to see us again, that they're able to do it. That'll give their fan base confidence that they're able to do it. The narrative will be, if they don't beat us, then the 49ers, we just have their number. And that's something that they don't want. Now, that can be used 2 ways. That can either be used to propel them so that they come out and they play more focused and more energized, or that can cloud their focus and they could be thinking on too much about the narrative and instead of, performing their job and doing what they need to do to win. I think for us, it's just the next game on our schedule. Thankfully, we started fast and we got through the first part of the season 4-0. You never want to lose, but a loss wouldn't be as significant if we were 2-2 or if we were 1-3. You know what I mean? And I think this team right now, when I hear Brock Purdy talk, when I hear Christian McCaffrey talk, when I hear Fred Warner talk, it's not like they've done anything yet. Yes, we're 4-0, but we really haven't accomplished anything yet, because
the core has been here.
It's not the goal. That's not the ultimate goal. The goal is to go in every week and win. And so far we've done that, but we have so much more to do that we're not excited to be 4-0. Even though we wanted to start fast, we're not excited to be 4-0. This isn't enough for us. There's still more for us out there to get, and we understand that. And I think this team is so focused that it's probably going to take a Herculean effort from the Cowboys. They're going to have to do something spectacular.
I love that. Look at this question from Sonia. Mose, do you see this as a low-scoring game just like the last 2 Cowboys versus Niners games?
I don't. Because I think those last 2 games were in the playoffs, and I think there's just added stakes when it comes to that. That chess game becomes a little bit more intense. I think this is the regular season. I think the Cowboys are going to try a lot of different things. I think when it comes to the playoffs and win and go home, you're a little bit more reserved because you want to see what the other team is punching with. What are you punching with, and are you successful with those punches? And what is the other team punching with, and that you need to counter, right? Because if you lose that game, you're going home. This game, if you lose, you go to week 6. So I think there's going to be a lot less that's hindering both of these teams from just going out there, and this could potentially be a shootout.
Man, that would be something to behold. That'd be fun to see. I'm so pumped about this game. I hate the Cowboys more than they're my number one. It's what it is, but man, I'm just pumped about this. We've still got a lot more content coming this week. I want to say thank you to Mose, and please go subscribe to his channel. It is right there in the top of this description. Spread the love, man. This community has been absolutely incredible to me. Please share that with everybody else, and let's spread the positivity in this awesome fan base. We're not Eagles fans. We don't do that stuff. Now, moving forward, tomorrow, got a show on Wayne's channel only. Okay, it's going to be over on Wayne's channel only. Just type in Wayne Breezy. That's at 10 a.m. And then we're going to be doing our later 49ers versus Cowboys scouting report predictions episodes, all that stuff coming, bets of the week, all that stuff that's up there. But Mose, any other closing thoughts before we jump out of here, my friend?
I'm just mad that this game isn't in Dallas, so that Debo can't relive T.O. and just run to the star one good time and do one of these. That's probably my favorite Cowboy memory of T.O. running to the star, and then for him to do it again and then slam the ball and then have the Cowboys players get upset. But this is a home game for us. I'm excited to be in the building. I'm excited to be out in Cali with the faithful. I'm excited to go to the music video. I'm excited to party with John Chapman and the 49ers Rush road trip podcast, all of that crew at the tailgate getting ready for this game. And it's going to be an absolutely phenomenal weekend. And I think the cherry on the top Sunday night will be another 49ers W. So, John, love you, brother. Can't wait to see you this weekend. Thank you so much for having me. Great to top it up with you as always.
Absolutely incredible. Nothing better than that, Mose. Appreciate you. And to everybody else, you know what to do this week. Stay strong, faithful.